2020 marks 6 years since the mysterious disappearance of 8-year-old Relisha Rudd in Washington, D.C. A vivacious girl who loved to dance and, according to her mother, lit up any room. Relisha has been missing since February the 26, 2014. The perplexing circumstances surrounding her disappearance instigated a nationwide search that year, which only added more questions to the mystery. Relisha had last been seen in the DC General Family Shelter, accommodation for homeless families in southeast Washington, which has since been permanently closed down. Relisha's disappearance was one of the reasons leading to its closure, the incident highlighting its unsuitability as a residence for children. Although Relisha had not been seen by her family since February the 26th, police began their search for her on March the 19th, 2014. This was 6 days after a counsellor from Payne Elementary School had contacted DC Child and Family Services due to her non-attendance at school for the last few days. She had been listed in the records as excused due to sickness and released to a certain Dr. Tatum. The counsellor had attempted to arrange a meeting with Dr. Tatum at the homeless shelter, but the doctor was a no-show. She then discovered that Dr. Tatum was not in fact a doctor, but a man called Kahil Malik Tatum, age 51, who worked as a janitor at the DC General Family Shelter and had served long stints in prison. He had clocked off early on the very day he had signed Relisha out. Authorities were alerted and began their search weeks after she had last been sighted. For nearly 2 years, Relisha, her mother, stepfather and 2 brothers had been living in the high-rise homeless shelter situated in the former DC General Hospital. The rundown building was said to be infested with pests and had no outdoor space for children to play. Educators at school, who knew Relisha well, reported that she would arrive in dirty clothing and with unkempt hair. She was described as always hungry and never wanting to return home, often faking asthma attacks in an attempt to avoid going home. Relatives told how Relisha slept with a teddy bear she'd named Baby. Reports by friends and relatives regarding the involvement of Kahil Tatum with Relisha's family indicate that it had an inappropriate and even sinister aspect. It was claimed that both the mother and stepfather sanctioned her spending hours and even days at a time with Tatum. Relisha called him a godfather. He had made strenuous efforts to win her trust. Belinda Wheeler, paternal grandmother of Relisha, confirmed that Tatum had provided many gifts to her granddaughter and became a close family friend, despite the family not knowing him prior to living in the homeless shelter. His gifts included an outing to Disney on Ice, a dress and jacket he had wanted her to wear the coming Easter. Relisha's absence was not the first time she was excused from school in the supposed safekeeping of Tatum. The school counsellor's referral to DC Family Services indicated that Relisha had been away from school for more than 30 days due to excused absences by her mother, Shamika Young. A Washington Post article, Timeline, Disappearance of Relisha Rudd, has chronicled the family's history with child protection social workers due to numerous notifications. One report stated that Relisha and her brothers were found in a squalid home environment, strewn with rubbish, cigarette butts and ash. There was said to be evidence of medical neglect, insufficient food and suspected physical abuse. Another report claims that the children were left by themselves for hours and instructed to bathe without supervision. Following Relisha's disappearance, DC Police Chief Kathy Lanier announced that there had been no confirmed sightings of Tatum and Relisha after March the 1st, 2014. Subsequent to this announcement, the FBI released security camera footage showing Tatum leading Relisha into a hotel room at the Holiday Inn Express in northeast Washington, D.C. on February the 26th. At this stage, the police offered a $25,000 reward for Relisha's safe return, and Prince George's County Police offered an additional $25,000 for information leading to the arrest of Tatum, their primary person of interest. These announcements were followed by grim events which effectively caused their tracing of Relisha to run cold. The FBI did not release the video of Relisha leaving the hotel where she was last sighted with Tatum due to the sensitivity of the ongoing investigation. However, on March 31st, a tip-off led the investigators to Kenilworth Park and Aquatic Gardens in northeast Washington to seek possible evidence of Relisha's final location. Instead, they found Tatum's remains inside his shed, having passed of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, his eyeglasses and weapon lying next to him. It was estimated to have been there for at least 36 hours. The discovery followed a dark and mystifying series of events later uncovered involving Tatum. On March the 20th, the same day Relisha went missing, at around 10 p.m. he had checked into room 132 at a hotel in Prince George's County, Maryland, accompanied by 4 unknown people. Within an hour, 3 of these individuals left the room. At approximately 5:40 a.m, one man returned to the room where police prevented him from entering. He told them that he'd assisted Tatum with a search on the internet in order to source a handgun and downloaded images on an iPad. Police then entered the hotel room where they found Tatum's wife Andrea lying face down on a bed and deceased due to a gunshot wound to the head. The weapon used was later assessed to be that found next to Tatum in Kenilworth Park. By about 8 a.m, DC police had contacted Prince George's County Police for assistance in locating Tatum, who was charged in absentia with the crime leading to his wife's demise, and an arrest warrant issued. On March the 24th, police appealed to the public, releasing new images of both Tatum and Relisha. The discovery of Tatum's remains was followed by a 6-day search of the 700-acre Kenilworth Park for any clues that might indicate Relisha's presence there, but no evidence was found. Authorities say Tatum made an ominous purchase of 42-gallon trash bags, lime and a shovel on March the 2nd and was sighted at Kenilworth Park the same day. Despite the numerous volunteers, including representatives from the Maryland-based Black and Missing Foundation, assisting police to scour every inch of the park, nothing of significance was found. Other police searches have uncovered a 15-acre construction site on New York Avenue in December 2015 and the US National Arboretum in northeast Washington in April 2016, but again without success. After further tip-off, police launched a new search for Relisha in January 2018. They concentrated their efforts on Anacostia Park, close to the boat ramp just north of Pennsylvania Avenue in southeast Washington. Police disclosed that their search utilised sonar, divers, boats and sniffer dogs exploring the site for any evidence that could be relevant to the inquiry. The area is across the river from and directly opposite the old homeless shelter and about 4 miles south of where Tatum's remains were located at Kenilworth Park. In July 2018, an age progression portrait of Relisha was issued by the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children and indicates what Relisha may have looked like at age 12. It remains unclear whether police have sufficient information to come to any conclusions regarding Relisha's fate. She is thought by many to be likely deceased, but the missing child investigation continues. Some have suggested that a mother and stepfather may have sold Relisha to Tatum, in the absence of any information about who the other persons were or who were sighted at the Maryland hotel and what Tatum may have had planned. The issue of Relisha's disappearance without a trace has sparked major public outcry and analysis, including debate about the insidious prevalence of human trafficking in the US, as well as a number of missing children in the DC area. The underground trade is said to have surpassed the illegal arms trade and is growing so as to overtake illegal drug dealing. Vulnerable children are targeted and gained control over using attention, friendship, gifts, and a sense of security. Once a relationship is established, traffickers then engage them in commercial activities using emotional, physical, and psychological control, which may include drugs. Traffickers would change the child's appearance, keep them isolated and move them often to ensure the child's dependence and loyalty. Relicia's mother, Shamika Young, insists that she feels that her daughter is still alive. She may now be estranged from both her own mother, Melissa Young, and Relicia's stepfather, Antonio Wheeler, who both seem to blame her. Wheeler has publicly stated that relatives believe the girl was attending a pool party with Tatum's granddaughter, despite the fact that the motel has no indoor pool. Alternatively, Shamika claims that she believed her daughter was staying at her sister's house with her grandmother Melissa, that being the reason why it took so long to report her as missing. As Relicia had no phone, Shamika was unable to communicate with her on a regular basis. She has denied her mother's accusation that she was allowing Tatum to groom Relicia from early days. Both Wheeler and Shamika's mother have passed lie detector tests, but Shamika has refused to undergo the test. Wheeler has stated publicly, "I believe she has something to do with it, and also her mother too." However, aspersions have also been cast on Wheeler's role. Contradicting his image as a battling stepfather in a homeless family, Wheeler posts his social media images of himself with a large wad of cash in his mouth, as well as new sneakers and a new cell phone at about this time Relicia went missing. To date, no arrests have been made, nor further searches proposed, which would shed light on what happened to Relicia. As a New York Daily article reported, there are still no answers in Relicia Rudd's disappearance, but her relatives have theories about what happened.